The last section of this presentation is a preview of Part 2 of the random validation process. For Part 2 of the random validation process, each of the 80 LEAs that participated in Part 1 will be randomly selected to submit current year documentation for one program. The random program selection will happen by region. So for example, Title I Part A will be assigned to 5 different ESCs. 4 LEAs at each of those 5 ESCs will submit documentation for Title I Part A requirements that were reviewed during the validation process. Title I Part C will have 20 LEAs from 5 different ESCs, so 4 LEAs per ESC will submit documentation for Title I Part C. Title I Part D will be selected for 4 LEAs from 1 ESC. Title II Part A, 12 LEAs will be selected from 3 ESCs. Title IV Part A, 12 LEAs will be selected from 3 ESCs. Private nonprofit, 8 LEAs will be selected from 2 ESCs. And for unsafe school choice, 4 LEAs will be selected from 1 ESC. For Part 2 of the validation process, each program manager will email the following documents to the LEAs selected for their program: a cover sheet, a guidance document instructions, a checklist, and instructions for uploading to ESA reports on Teal. When the LEA is preparing their documentation packet, the only documents that the LEA needs to submit to TEA are the cover sheet, the guidance document, and any of the supporting documentation that has been requested. The LEA will complete the cover sheet with the LEA's contact information. If the LEA has been given a campus for a campus-specific requirement, the LEA would also complete the campus information. The LEA would order the packet with the cover sheet on top, then followed by the completed copy of the guidance document, and then followed by the specific documentation that's been requested through the validation. The guidance document instructions will include the statutory citation for the requirement that's being validated. It will also include specific instructions for completing the guidance document and any program-specific notes that the LEA should be aware of when preparing the documentation. The guidance document itself, the LEA will complete to help TEA find the requirement documentation within the packet the LEA is providing. For example, if your first set of documentation appears on page 4, paragraph 5 of the packet, that is what the LEA should put in the page number column. This is not the place for the LEA to provide content. The checklist is a document that is provided for LEA information only. It is not to be submitted to TEA. TEA staff will use the checklist to review the LEA's documentation. The instructions for uploading documentation will guide the LEA through the process of submitting its documentation packet on ESA reports in Teal. Inside ESA reports, the LEA will select the Upload Response Documents tab. Then you'll see a set of drop-down lists from which the LEA will choose the name of the applicable program validation for the response template title. Then the LEA will select 2020-2021 for the school year, select Response Document as the document type, Click Choose File to browse to the file location on your computer, and then click the Upload Document button. The timeline for Part 2 of the random validation process starts on November 16th, when LEAs will be notified which program they're selected for. The LEAs will be able to receive assistance from their Education Service Center anytime between November 16th and January 22nd. Documentation must be uploaded no later than January 22nd through ESA reports. TEA will complete the documentation review by February the 26th. We will share preliminary results and discuss those results with Service Center staff between February 26th and March 12th. Final results will be shared with LEAs via email on March 26th. LEAs that have met the requirements for their validation will receive an email notification on March 26, 2021 that they have met the requirements and that their validation is closed. LEAs that have improvement needed on one or more of the program requirements that have been reviewed, LEAs will also receive notification on March 26, 2021. These LEAs may receive technical assistance from the Regional Service Center between March 29th and September 29th of 2021. LEAs that needed improvement will be required to submit documentation showing compliance with the missed requirement for the 2021-2022 school year no later than September 30th, 2021. Contact information for the random validation process. If you have questions or concerns, please email esaSupport@tea.texas.gov. Thank you very much for your attention.